Well, as all great adventurers do, you start your new job off from the new high queen in charge. Of course, you get hired into everyone's favorite position, being part of the guards. Of course, we get tasked around for the immediates of this to help collect information and help, I guess, stabilize the people around here. As the once dedicated task for the greatest, we were told to go out and seek out and check with a new food supply that's popping up from a lovely place called All the World's Meat, which is apparently well known for its thugs. So obviously, it can't be good meat that they're feeding out the people. And while we're out and about, of course, we get to go visit our good friend. What was his name? Snake something or other. Where is his dumb name? Zavargo Boroski, also known as the Snake King. So first, we go to the meat place because get a bit of lunch. Arriving there to realize food's gone. Bullshit. Food's already gone. And as our genius and pegs, we come in and are bringing our friendly faces, which isn't so friendly when you have a 7-foot lizard, a 7-foot lizard hanging out with you. We come in and we demand some meat, and then as in the greatest fashions, insult them for their inability to feed us. Of course, they demand us to leave, bringing out their extra thugs into this dilemma. Yeah, Lizard Lips, the good old dragon, thinks he's smart enough to come and take him on, and postures a bit. As me and the priest, we kind of just abandoned him. Like, we literally just walked away and left him to do whatever it is he was doing. Heading around the back as he gets proceededly beaten and thrown out of the building. Conveniently enough, that does draw enough of them away from us to explore. And not so conveniently, we had to still end up coming over. And surprisingly, that dragon actually proved his point and beat them unconscious for us. Which made it even easier, because that means one fight. Proceedingly digging around, we realized that not all of it is pork and beef. Some of it actually turns out to be people. Which, considering if you know Drows, then you know Mavari, people's people. Not the worst food to eat. Heading upstairs, we get the nice jump on our good friend. These things are always complicated to no end. The pain name to see. Varric Van Kaskren. A man hired by one of the local nobles, who we will come to find out is the supposed lover of the lovely noble that we are looking information for. We don't know this is them because we don't care enough to figure that out. He'll probably find out he's even got eyes on him with a silver dagger disguised from a Rakshasa itself. Proceedingly to beat him unconscious and take said dagger and chuck it in a box. And then pawn it off because it's not really all that worth valued. And we decided to say hold off on reporting this for some reason. We make it on the turn back. Afterwards, we head down to the lovely Eel's End, where the Snake King himself is chilling out. Upon arrival, the greatest notice the peak things to go for. There is a brothel at the Eel's End, and we do not see the greatest for like ever on end, because he books it, and he is now forfeiting gold into something that he wants. And just about everyone's expectations, we don't see him for a while. Exploring around, Dragon finds his favorite thing, a gambling den. Heads inside, and starts playing one of the most semi setup games. I mean, it's knivesies. They stick a dagger on the table, a pile of gold, and you punch each other unconscious. Needless to say, he started winning fairly well, just for the drow to come over and have to teach him that he wasn't as tough as he thought he was. And while he did win, he got his shit rolled. Like, boom, bruises to no end, to the point where he had to pretty much bank on pushing him off. The lovely monk had wandered into another shop, smelling of very fluorescent and flowery stats, finding out that there's drugs, which is a good thing Cretus didn't find it, because then it would have been a relapse. Heading through the whole environment, we had a couple dozen rounds of knivesies going off, bets being won, pockets being filled, and a lot less disgruntled people in here. As the finally wind down from all the fun that was going about, we finally head towards the Snakes King's lovely office. Stepping forward, the greatest swings his swag around and pushes the guards out of his way with just sheer charisma value, intimidating him to move. He wants inside to talk to someone. Heading deeper inside, of course, we walk in, and he's already expecting us, because we're not exactly the most, not so noisy. Well known by everyone who wanders the town as those people you don't approach, because we will cause all kinds of needless destruction. As a simple show of good faith, we have played a nice game of knivesies, in which we let the Dragon Man choose his points. It was an unnecessary gesture, but turns out he won that fight. Thankfully, at least, because that would have gone really bad otherwise. And a lot more things we didn't want to explore. Proceedingly, we find out the world's like impossible DC to go and look at to do on one go. But with a bit of money sprinkled down onto him, we got the bribe for letters that may incriminate the noble himself, talking of a forbidden lover he had. And through which, well, turns out it's probably not as helpful as we'd hope it would be. So, the ambassador is now getting himself criminalized by us by finding out these letters. And reading through them, they were some raunchy letters. Woo! Woo! Raunchy. Like, this man just, like, slaps words into you. Sex appeal all the way down. Acquiring those letters, and not having to deal with some of the more troublesome bonds in the world, we head out and seek out and see if we can find help by finding the local crypt, which we further actually figure out where exactly, what is it, like 1,000 bones? Long bones or something? 1,000 bones. And we headed towards the local crypt for 1,000 bones son? Warrior? I don't remember. The details on whether he's important or not is fuzzy. It's about as much as the Cretus would play out his desire to help people anyways, but we head towards the crypt to further along and meet more people we are quite familiar with. I think at this point we stop by a couple shops and pawn some junk off, throw them around. But all in all, we head towards the Cretus's least favorite thing in the world, undead. Otherwise, I'm going to call it good for here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!